Would you survive
A vacation in France
with...
Jason Isaacs.
So, the first question that we wanted to ask...
En anglais. Nous faisons en anglais. Oh,
En
parfait.
anglais.
Non, c'est mieux. Okay, good.
But we wanted to know if you would like to do the whole interview with the French accent, because we heard
No, that's absolutely not. Off the agenda. I have played a Frenchman with a French accent. My very first job with Stephen Fry, I played Dr. Guy Chabot. But I won't be doing that today.
Come on,
no,
a tiny bit of a French accent.
No, pas du tout.
Pas du tout.
That's the normal part.
Yeah, that's perfect.
My first question is, everybody's talking about that scene in episode 4, so let's imagine you on a French nudist beach, a nude beach.
I've been on a French nudist
there
beach.
You go.
Yeah.
So what was your
I
reaction?
didn't want to do it until I saw that everybody was very, very fat and old, and I felt better about myself. And then I went.
So option A, would you get cool and get naked? Would you
No.
ignore? No?
No, because when you're on television, people take photographs of you everywhere. Guaranteed someone will take a photograph on a nudist beach, and that's not a picture I want to have on the internet.
But let's say there's no phones. It's France, we don't care about phones.
You're making up a fictional France now.
naked-
It's got nothing to do with the real France that I've been to many times. No. By the way, I don't like beaches anyway because sand gets everywhere. The last thing you want to be is nude on a beach. It's bad enough the sand gets in your ears. I don't need it everywhere else.
So now,
Yes.
if you're invited to a French fancy dinner around 8,
Yeah.
at what time would you show up?
Sometime after 10, and I'd be early.
That's an amazing answer.
That's
That's perfect.
You'd be right on time.
No.
What would you be wearing?
I have many friends in France. Black, only black. If it's Paris.
Okay.
Because I remember I shot Rosemary's Baby in Paris there, and I had a lovely time. And I joined a gym, a very trendy gym, just by where I was living in the Marais. And one day I wore, I think, blue shorts and a white T-shirt. I felt like I was in a clown outfit. Everybody was in black. People joined the gym to stand outside and smoke and drink juice. Nobody was exercising, but they were all dressed in black.
Would you ever wear Crocs in Paris?
Well, I've never seen, the weather's never been good enough to wear Crocs. And anyway, who wants to wear melted tires on their feet?
What if you were coming to France
Yeah.
and you did not want to look like a tourist? How would you dress? What would you do? How would you act?
Traditional French costume, striped top, onions around the neck, beret, and an old bicycle.
Bruh.
That's what French people wear, and I've seen the hoops and the thing with the onions and garlic, and obviously. No, I tell you, if one would look French, I'd wear a scarf, but tied, not tied around like English people do it. You double it around there and pull it and put through there, and then you're French.
Okay. If you had to pick one city in France for season 4 of White Lotus, where would it be?
Somewhere really beautiful and picturesque like Calais. That has England in the background.
Explain that thought a bit more. England in the background in Calais.
The thing when you're filming, when you set things up, generally you want to have depth of field when there's something behind you, and so you'd be on the edge of Calais, and if you look very carefully, you can see the white cliffs of Dover.
Wouldn't it be a bit cold though?
Well, I'm not going to be in it, so I don't give a fuck.
Well, you have some actors from season 1 and 2 that are in the season 3.
There are. I mean, possibly. First of all, if I live, who knows? Mike could bring you back, but I feel like most actors are one and done.
Okay. Now, if you're in Calais
Yeah.
and someone corrects you while you're trying to speak French mid-sentence,
Right.
would you apologize and be thankful for it? Would you try to keep
Thankful
correct,
for it.
or would you just switch back to English?
I just go, "Pfft." I made that French noise. But why would they correct me? My French is perfect. They'd clearly be a foreigner.
What's your pick-up line with French people when you meet them at first? What do you say? Like a little... What do you say? If we meet you and I for the first time.
I say hi.
En français?
No, because people don't. People speak franglais. My French friends, one of my best friends lives in Paris, and all of her friends speak franglais. They, you know.
True. What is the
I'd
most
say-
franglais word ever?
Oh God, I don't know. Now you're exposing me.
Come on!
I don't know French well enough, but it doesn't matter. Basically, if you say anything English with a French accent, that's franglais. Le weekend.
Le weekend, le
How about that?
parking,
Yeah.
le meeting,
Ouais.
le happy hour. Lots of words that we use from the English language. And so the English does with the French words.
I'll tell you a story once. I was in Paris during Fashion Week. We went to this restaurant that my friend who works in fashion and lives in Paris took us to, and she knows the owner, manager. And at the end of the meeting, he came up, he said, "How was your meal?" I said, "It was funny." He goes, "She was nice, the waitress?" And I said, "Yes, she speaks really great English." He went, "Putain!" What? He said, "I told her not to speak English." And I went, "This guy instructed his waitress not to speak English because he wanted to maintain the attitude during Fashion Week that, you know, the waiters don't speak English." So he thought that would build the kind of brand of his restaurant. That,
Do you know any other cuss words? Because that was a good one. I love putain. Putain
well,
and merde on
there's
my
nothing
to-go.
better. There's nothing better than that. Why, you know?
No other cuss words
I
that
went
we
big.
have?
No, and that's certainly not for this. No.
Any favorite French words to close the little interview?
No, I don't remember French words. I'll tell you what I'm upset with. So I know the lovely man who does my voice in France, but it bothers me that pretty much my friends in France watch me in French and not in English, and I would just beg everyone to watch The White Lotus in English with
Why
subtitles.
don't you just read the subtitles? We watched episode 5 last night, and we just put on the subtitles.
All right. I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's such a- that's
but you
such a
guys
nice
speak
voice in
very
English.
I thought we said that you were super good with accents, and we wanted you to
nothing
try
else?
with the French one.
No, I played lots of different accents. Actually, I got a lot of trouble for the accent in The White Lotus
Why?
because it's very specific. It's from this
Your
particular
Durham
town.
accent is insane. I lived
You lived in Durham.
I lived in
Are you
North
kidding me?
Carolina. I
Oh,
didn't
right.
live in
So you know,
Durham,
okay, right.
but love Duke. You know,
So
love,
it's an unusual
and it's
accent.
great.
It's not like other Southern accents. It's
No.
it's quite.
And-
North Carolina is different.
North Carolina is technically the second state the most south because it's Virginia, the first
Right.
one. Then you have North Carolina,
Right.
and your
So
dad.
people who don't know the accent think I'm doing a bad Southern accent, but it's got some weird sounds in it, doesn't it?
People there think you're doing a great accent.
I know. Well,
From what I've heard from people
get
living
out.
there.
People in Durham, get out. Go across America. Tell everybody else.
That's vraiment Jason. Merci
Thank you.
beaucoup.
No, merci à toi.
Merci à toi. Okay.
Oh, look, we set the alarm off. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.